What's good, guys? Today we got to talk about ZHEZHI because I know you want to be ready for when she drops, and in this video we're going to break down everything you need to know about this character, so let's hop right in. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be characters that work with ZHEZHI or team comps. And the first unit that I'm going to bring up is going to be the best character to rock with ZHEZHI, and that is none other than the Magistrate Jin Shi. And I gotta be honest, ladies and gentlemen, we already know how strong Jin Shi is. And this character is going to bring her even higher because she is going to enable more damage via resonance skill, which is going to be Jin Shi's bread and butter. Overall, this is going to be her best pairing so far. Now, Shang Li is also going to pair very well with her because she is going to be able to get buffs from ZHEZHI via resonance skill damage amplification and basic or normal attack damage with her weapon. Overall, Shang Li will also work very nicely with her, and they have a very similar per se animation when it comes to their attack. So overall, pretty damn good pairing. Now, the next character I'm going to bring up is going to be Ling Yang, which is actually quite surprising. And the reason for this is that ZHEZHI's weapon is going to buff normal attack, and that is Ling Yang's bread and butter, and they have the same element, which is pretty damn nice. So overall, this is going to be a surprisingly good pairing. I know a lot of people throw shade on Ling Yang, but overall, he's actually pretty damn decent. And now with ZHEZHI, we might see Ling Yang supremacy. Maybe not, but at the end of the day, he's still going to be a nice pairing for ZHEZHI in case you have him. And last but not least, when it comes to the top picks, is going to be Verena, the best character in the game. The one that's on every single team and the one that pretty much carries every team. She just fits perfectly. She is just insanely good. And until we get another healer, support, buffer in the horizon, she is still going to be the absolute best unit in the game for this. So she is going to fit here pretty damn nicely. Now, the second pick I'm going to bring up is going to be Encore. And this is kind of interesting because we got that fire and ice team up. But the thing is that Encore will take benefit from ZHEZHI's normal attack buffs with her weapon. So overall, this is going to be an interesting pairing. It might give Encore even more damage. And if you don't like rocking Verena or you simply don't have her, Z is going to work really nicely with ZHEZHI. And on top of that, they do have that mono Glacio element. Now let's talk about the total amount of materials you're going to need in order to max out ZHEZHI. And as you can see, there is going to be a lot of materials. So get to farming right now so you can max out your brand new waifu. Now, I know that saying you need all these materials might be a little overwhelming. Well, I'm going to link this page in the description of the video, but you can come right here and check exactly how many materials you need for each one of the levels. And if you scroll down on this page, you will see that you can also check the skill attributes and stat enhancements you will be getting as you level up your skills. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you will see that they have a calculator so you know exactly how many resources you need to take them to very specific character levels, their skills to very specific levels. And as you can see right here, we're taking level 7 and level 70 for your character as a base formula because that's the most common place most people will be at. And as you can see right here, it tells you exactly how many things you need. And you can bring this all the way up to level 90, which is max character level currently. And it'll tell you exactly how many materials you need. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to add this here so people have ease of mind and they know exactly how many materials they need depending on the level they are. Now let's talk about her weapon. And as we know, with every limited character, their best in slot weapon is going to be their signature weapon. And I'll go into what this weapon does right after this. Her second best in slot options are going to be String Master and Cosmic Ripple. So in case you don't go ahead and get her signature weapon, you can use Yinlin's weapon or the standard banner 5-star weapon. Overall, these are still going to be very decent and very good options. And if you need some budget options, we have Augment and Jinzu Keeper. Both of these are also pretty decent. They're not going to be even close to her best in slot or her second best options, but they're still going to be pretty damn nice. When it comes to her weapon, her primary stat will scale off crit damage and her substat will be attack percentage. When it comes to the ability, attack is increased by 12%, and upon casting Resonance skill, the character's basic attack damage bonus is increased by 12% while on the field, stacking up to 3 times and lasting for 6 seconds. Upon casting Outro skill, if 3 stacks have been reached, all stacks will be removed, causing the character's basic attack damage bonus to be increased by 52% when the character is not on the field, lasting for 25 seconds. Overall, a pretty damn good weapon when it comes to buffing, and especially it synergizes very well with ZHEZHI as well as other characters that I mentioned on this video. When it comes to the echoes, there are different ways you can go about building your ZHEZHI. It really depends on what you want to do with your character. If you're going for a more damage oriented unit, you will use the Freezing Frost or Endless Resonance set, and if you want to go for a more supportive role, you will go for the Moonlit Cloud set. Now, when it comes to the 4 cost, Lampumen is going to be the one I'm going to be using, and for the 3 cost, we have all the Glacial 3 cost echoes right here, and for the 1 cost, we have the echoes right at the bottom. But once again, keep in mind, it depends what you want to do. If you're going for a more DPS oriented sub DPS, you will go for Freezing Frost, and if you're trying to get more support out of your sub DPS ZHEZHI, you will go for Moonlit Clouds. Now let's talk about the stats. For the main stats, for the 4 cost, you're going to want crit rate or crit damage, preferably crit rate. For the 3 cost, you can go elemental damage or attack percentage or 1-in-1. And if you really want to build a support ZHEZHI, you can go for 1 energy regen piece. For your 1 cost is attack percentage, pretty simple. And for your substats, you're going to want crit rate, crit damage, resonance skill damage, attack percentage, and energy regen. Now, there is one more thing I want to show you guys, and this is how to go about getting extra resources so you can speed up your character's leveling. And the first place we're going to go to is SkullCJay. If you go over to SkullCJay, you will see that he sells several materials that are going to help you leveling up your characters, as you can see right here. And this is going to make everything so much easier. It might not be a whole bunch of them, but if you go out of your way, you can go ahead and buy yourself several of these items. And even if they're in the lower rarity, you will still use these and they will help you out a ton. So let's go ahead and buy some of these just to start getting ourselves set up. Our next stop where you can get some materials and make your grind a lot easier is going to be the Shifang Pharmacy. If you go over here and you talk to Coco, you will see that she sells a bunch of resources that you're going to need in order to level up your characters. So do be sure to come over here and talk to her in order to make your grind a lot easier. I do want to point out you can come to this specific part of Tiger's Maw and get a bunch of lantern berries really quickly. So do be sure to do this so you don't have to rely on the Shifang Pharmacy on its own. Our next stop is going to be the Point Shop, and over here you can buy a bunch of resources, as you can see, but if you go down to the bottom you can also buy level up resources, and you can get quite a few of them, 60 of each to be precise. So you want to make sure you go out here and get these as soon as possible, especially because they're so cheap, and we have a whole bunch of these points that we can use in order to get these resources. And last but not least, we're going to go to the Tiger's Maw ore shop and talk to Shilang. And this dude right here is going to sell us some materials as well. Now, these materials do not refresh, or at least they haven't refreshed since the start of the game. But as you can see, you can get some nice little resources that are going to help you out leveling up your character. Alright, and that pretty much wraps up the video on everything you need to know to prepare for ZHEZHI. I know I might have butchered her name in this video, and I know this is rather short compared to some of the other videos I've done before, but we're still trying to get back into the groove thing. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. We're slowly trying to rebuild, and I do hope to have more Wuthering Waves content for you guys in the future. Much love, thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.